Hey yo yo. Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.
The dog's in his seat.
Cloud's being part of the show.
Good job, buddy. He's gonna move instantly, though.
No, he's not. He's part of the show.
All right, good job.
He's part of the show. Hey, this is it's the best theme song ever. That's all I think about whenever we do this.
Yep.
It is the best theme song of all time.
Of all time.
I love it, man. It's so good. Boom, episode 104. It's been a lot of cool things we got to catch up on, man. For starters, let's just get started right now.
Boom.
What are you into currently, my friend?
Dog, I've been playing this new Pokemon shit all day. This shit's sweet,
bro. I mean, let's just talk about it right now. I mean, it's on our list.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it right now. What game? Actually. Yeah. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yep.
I mean, this is a game I've been waiting for a long time. Came out on Friday. I was a little worried because a lot of the gameplay footage, and they were really vague about how the game.
Yeah.
What the game was exactly. You know what I mean?
Yep. So it is different, super different. And so before we turned on the mics, we were deciding how we felt, or at least I was deciding how I felt about a potentially controversial idea about how Pokemon should probably change up its formula. And I'll be honest, dog, I'm leaning towards yes, and they do need to, but here's why. So like, this game it simplifies a lot of stuff.
It does, and it simplifies a lot of stuff. Like
right.
Some of the more complicated, like for somebody like me who's like super into the like competitive battle scene and everything, like it really simplifies a lot of those things. Like, but I mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing though. Like I think. For what this game is, like for example, right? If you catch, so in this game, it's like open world Pokemon game, very similar to Breath of the Wild, which I love. But just to piggyback off what you said, for example, you can catch these alpha Pokemon, right? And they can learn these like moves that the Pokemon don't normally learn. You know what I mean? And what they mean by that is like, so for example, my son, Jay, I got the game last Friday and I just started being able to play it like yesterday because he's just been on it nonstop. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, normally if you have a Machamp and you want it to have moves like Mach Punch or Bullet Punch, you have to do what's called it's called an egg move, which means that you have to breed that move onto the Machamp, right?
Yep.
So you have to take a Machamp, and then you would have to take like a female Hitmonchan, and then you would have to breed. Then you'd have to breed them together and make sure that the Hitmonchan knew Mach Punch and Bullet Punch, and then the Machop that's born would have those moves. That's doing a lot.
Yeah.
And now, if you catch one of these alpha Pokemon, they can just learn those moves. That's like one way I know that the game.
So here's the other way that they did, and I have to turn back. I have to kind of circle back to this because it explains why you are incentivized to catch a bunch of Pokemon. They got rid of EVs and IVs. So instead, they just are. They replaced it with effort level, which is a combination of both. It simplifies it quite a bit. It's kind of hard to explain because it's not exactly either one of those things. It basically allows you to use like grit points or grit dust or whatever to like. It almost works like the proteins used to work. Proteins and carbos and all that stuff in like Gen 1 and Gen 2. But there's no limit. There's no like limit to, well, there is a limit, but it's not like there's a certain amount of EVs that can go to one. You only have like 256 total and you can only divide them up. Like each stat, as far as I can tell, can go up like 9 effort levels, which is essentially like max. It's basically creating a perfect EV Pokemon. You can do that a lot easier. And so I'll get back to that. So here, let me just get to the main point. I think that we've taken for granted, or actually I think Pokemon has taken us for granted as like this loyal fan base. We're like, I think we all know this like subconsciously, but I don't think we really paid attention to how like they really have put out the exact same game for like 25, almost 30 years at this point.
Yeah, no, they have. And I mean, and every now and then you get like, every now and then there's a generation that introduces like some like game changing stuff, right? Like Gen 3, that's when they started to like separate special and physical attacks, and that's when they started to have natures, and that's when you know what I'm saying? Then there's like what was that, X? That's when you got like Mega Evolution and fairy types, and you know what I mean? Like there's certain generations that introduce like a lot of game changing stuff, but it's not every single one. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the game itself is
so that's what I was about to say. So like that's sort of what they've done is they've added like new battle mechanics that change the game a little bit. But like the game, right? The gameplay loop has been exactly, and I don't mind the gameplay loop being the same. That's fine. It's it's an RPG. It's a JRPG basically at the end of the day. But like even the plot is the same, right? Like young trainer collects 8 badges while simultaneously like dodging a megalomaniac like leader of a like 2 warring cults.
Yeah.
And there's who is secretly plotting to like hijack one of 3 legendary Pokemon. Right? Like that formula literally verbatim has been exactly the same. So here's what I propose. I really, really enjoy the new, because this is a single player game,
right? Which
is different than the other games, right? Like the other games have an emphasis on battling. So here's what I propose. I honestly think that if it were up to me, I would double down on this idea of like open world. So I have a realistic idea and a dream idea. So the realistic idea is double down on this exact formula, open world, where the focus is on catching Pokemon and doing all the stuff that you're doing here, but like double down on like the graphics, just shine it up, like make it better, bigger, and then have a separate game. So like plot where there's a story that you follow. This should be the world for that. And then for the maniacs like you and me, how I used to be, just have like Pokemon Battle version 1, and just have it be fighting, and that's it. And then like a big open world where you can go and like how they do the what do they call like those?
Battle Frontier and
well, what do they call the worlds in Sword and Shield where you can like the overworld where you can go and the Pokemon just be out and about like those zones, the wild areas, right? Just have the whole game be here's a wild area. Here's a couple of like notch marks that you got to get access to more, and just have that and no plot. Fuck the plot.
Right.
Here's like super sweaty, goddamn it, like
battle science and catch your Pokemon,
right.
breed them, level them up,
and that's it. And that's the game.
And then battle online.
Battle online or battle in whatever little arcade mode, and just have that be the whole game. And then for the like story driven stuff, have it be all this. Let me get one more point off. This is adding my dream to it, which I don't think is going to happen. So since you've simplified everything, I would say if it were up to me, they just said, "Hey, Omari, here's the keys. Do whatever you want. Turn off the fucking whole turn base. Just go the route of Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 remake, where it's a straight up like action RPG where you gotta like do moves and stuff. Like even if you want to do it closer to how they did it in Final Fantasy Final Fantasy remake, where there's still a little bit of RPG stuff to it, and you can choose to go back to like the turn base if you want. But man, that's the best part of that game, in my opinion, is how fluid the action was, and it felt like I was actually like you needed some skill more than just like here's the right, rock paper scissors combination.
Yeah.
And if you did that, and that became like the mainline story, and then each year you could come out with like 2 games. One that introduced the new generation of Pokemon with the new story, the new legend of the legendary, and then alongside that you pay $30 for or whatever for just like the battle game, and that's it. To me, that feels. If it were up to me, that's what I would do, because it's hard to ignore. Now that they made it so clear that they can do other stuff, it's hard to ignore the fact that we've been playing the same exact plot for 30 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I agree, man. I love, obviously y'all know how much I love Pokemon, but I was very pleasantly surprised by this game. I've been playing it, haven't finished it or anything yet, but I do love it. I think it's very, very good. And like you said, man, I think it would be dope to continue down this path, tweak some things. I love the idea of like changing the combat to, which and to me, I mean, you look at the game like Pokken Tournament.
Yeah,
it's 100% doable to implement that. Like, take the fighting game aspect from that game and just make it the combat for this.
Right.
I think that would be dope. I also think that you can't get rid of the old battle formula, because it's, for someone like me who it takes so long to figure it out really, and like get good at it. So it's like I don't want to see them just completely do away with it. But for this kind of game, I do think it's cool that they kind of they turned the difficulty way down in terms of.
Well, not so fast. They simplified it. They didn't make it easier.
Yeah,
because some of them alpha motherfuckers will kick the dog shit out of you.
I'm not talking about the difficulty of the battling. I'm talking about the science to understanding the EVs and the IVs and the natures. And
they definitely simplified it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was sitting up here trying to explain. I was explaining like the breeding, because my brother's starting to get back into it.
Nice.
And I was explaining to him like the breeding process and like the trying to breed a 5 or 6 perfect IV Pokemon and like knowing what their nature is, and like you got to get the right nature. And then he was just like, "Doug, what?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's a lot." You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and then even and like Sword and Shield did such a good job of like, it was still tedious, but it wasn't so impossible. Like,
right.
If you go back to some of the older games, like, it was hard, man. Like,
well, because they didn't make it a core game mechanic. Like, it was a thing that was possible, but like players weaponized it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like Gen 6 and 7 where the developers were like, all right, I see what these people are doing. Let's like create a lane for them to do that.
Because there was a time where you would have to catch a Ditto, which wasn't easy. Like, even just catching a Ditto would be
hard
4% chance. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to get a Ditto, and then you can start breeding your Pokemon. But the chance of you getting higher than 3 IVs, I think, was like 0.3% or
Bro, you
something.
couldn't even check the IVs in like the first 3 generations, I think.
You couldn't even check them. And then
You have to like debug the game in order to figure it out.
So it's crazy, man.
And kind of in Pokemon's defense, or in Pokemon Arceus defense, like it kind of was too difficult, right? Like it was like, what are we doing this for? Kind of.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%. It was way.
I used to spend hours on that shit.
Hours, bro.
Fucking riding my bike in a circle in front of the daycare, in front of the trying to hatch the eggs.
And it's like, if you play Sword and Shield, and I think Sword and Shield, like a lot of people hate on that game, but I love Sword and Shield, and I think Sword and Shield was, you really start to see like you can see them like inching towards like this game, right? Like Sword and Shield, it wasn't so impossible to hatch an egg. Like you could put it in the nursery, you could ride your bike like straight down and come right back, and
you got to make sure you got somebody with the what's that ability, the heat rock.
Well, you got to have. Well, no, they changed on Sword and Shield. If you just have a Ditto, you got to have Destiny Knot.
No, I'm talking about to hatch the egg to make it go faster. If you have somebody in your party with heat rock, it'll go faster. It'll like half the time.
Yep. So it's yeah, they definitely made those things easier over time, which, like you said, they were impossible. So, so for them to go in, and I mean, this game, I like it, man. I love the world that they kind of created here. It's definitely the most Japanese like feeling Pokemon game ever. I love the new evolutions. I wasn't in love with the starters, but I like they fit with the theme of this game.
I finally got the fully evolved Samurott. He looks sweet as fuck.
We picked the same one, Oshawott. Yeah,
he looks sweet as hell.
I love Duat too, like his middle.
Mm-hmm.
I love Duat. I picked Samurott back in the day on Black and White too.
So make sure I circle back on this. Nav texted me, like, the one thing I don't like is you don't have to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
In order to
you got to get them to, you have to, there's a ton of tasks you got to do for the Pokedex. You just have to get it to level 10.
Right, which means you can do one of these things. Yeah, you don't have to do all of them. I wouldn't.
At first, I didn't understand that.
No, but here's why you should catch as many as possible. So, we talked about how the IVs and the EVs have gone away. Now it's just effort level. In order to drive the effort level up, you need grit dust, which like basically adds a point, right? And that's like a rare thing to get. But how you get them is by releasing Pokemon, right?
Ooh,
so when you release, like I released like, cause and again, another reason why you should
of myself because I have 25 Bidoofs.
So yeah, so you about to get a bunch. So here's the thing. Another reason why, because I kind of stepped away from the hardcore Pokemon breeding game, but I still know the game. So like, I know what the nature matchups need to be for a given Pokemon. So like, the reason why I catch like 10 at a time is to make sure I can get the one with the right nature. So I just so happened to find that out, and when I finally found the one, I was like, all right, I'm not about to keep all of these Gudras, or what's the little one, Goomies.
Yeah.
So I released them all, and I just got like every one you release gives you like a bag of
that's awesome.
The grit stuff. So like now I got like 40, and you can like it'll become self-explanatory, but that's the stuff that you need basically to make your Pokemon stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, dog, they made the game, they made the sweaty simpler, but the fucking, bro, there are some hard ass battles because the wild Pokemon, this is in the past. That's an important detail. This is in the past. So there's no precedent for like Pokemon human relations.
Oh yeah, I feel like at some point you're just gonna straight up be able to scrap.
No, they be trying to shoot the fade with you. The Pokemon try to shoot the fade with you, not your Pokemon.
You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn moves yourself.
So there are certain situations where you can have like because you know how you like if one notices you and they start charging you.
Gotta dodge.
Imagine like 5 of them at once.
That happened to me already. I got jumped by. I feel like Shinx is like that line. Shinx, Luxio, Luxray.
Yeah.
They're like trying to scrap all the time.
All the time. Super aggressive. So imagine getting in a situation like that with like 2 fully evolved Pokemon, another like of the family right before it, and then an alpha. So I'm like fighting 4 at once, and I'm like 10 levels higher than most of them, but bro,
Don't
it's
matter.
literally 4-on-1.
Yeah, it's hard.
But the good news is, once you fucking win that match, dog, so much
many
EP, bro.
EXP, yeah.
So much EP
And
or EXP.
The funniest thing that happened to me is I got attacked by a bunch of shinks. I got hit by a thunderbolt move, knocked off a cliff, and fell into the river and drowned.
Yep. You will pass away in this game. Fuck, I don't care if you don't have any Pokemon. Them niggas will try to fight you specifically.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to perform a German suplex on a Garchomp. But yeah, man, I love the game. It's dope. It's a good change. Also, man, like if you are somebody who wasn't ever super into Pokemon, like this would not be a bad game to pick up to get into.
For sure.
Because it's a new start.
Yep.
So, boom. Pokemon Legends of Arceus, a game that I've been waiting for a long time, and it's definitely delivered. I love it. Wrestling recap. Cue that sad Jurassic Park music for the Royal Rumble.
God.
Oh man, the Royal Rumble sucked. All right, moving on.
All right. Everybody said it was supposed to be so good too.
Oh my goodness, it was so trash. It was so whack. I mean,
Okay.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I'm not even gonna spend a lot of time. It was whack. Anyway, Boba Fett. Actually, my bad. The Mandalorian has returned for season 3.
Hey, dog. Hold on, goddammit.
What did you think of what was this, episode 5?
Episode 5. Now I feel a little bit better because I learned that
Season 3, episode 1 of the
Right.
Mandalorian.
I learned that there were actually 2 episodes left, so I feel a little bit better.
Okay.
But still, so I gotta talk a little bit of shit here. I've liked the Mandalorian. I'm sorry, right? Fucking. I've liked the Book of Boba Fett a lot because you care about Boba Fett now, right? Like, you didn't have any reason to care about him before, despite the fact that his armor looked cool. But now you like get to know who he is.
I liked the Mystique better. I don't like the.
Well, actually,
Get out of here. No. His experience with the Tusken Raiders was fucking awesome. Like, that is still my favorite episode. It was
boring. He's not shooting people and wearing
Right.
his jetpack.
either number 2 or number 3, whichever one. I thought that was great. Like, it's
I
been
love the train episode too.
yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
And so we got a lot of good character building. We got Bang Bang Wookiee Street Gang, Black Chrysanthemum joining the squad. Like,
Plasma knuckle. Beam.
right, fucking Sonic Knuckle Buster desk. You know what I'm saying? So all good, right? More Fennec. Everybody loves Fennec. She's dope. I didn't have any complaints. I know a lot of people had complaints because they just wanted him to laser everybody to death, which is cool. But like, what are you, 12? Like, let's have some character development. Like, that's okay to like have that in a show, right? So episode, and so the complaints were, oh, it's slow. There's no plot. We don't like know what's happening with, like, what are they actually building up to, right? And so here's the problem with this next episode, with episode 5, which famously, if we all seen it now, was basically a full episode of The Mandalorian. It had nothing to do with Boba Fett.
Full
Episode. And I'll talk about that too separately. But the problem now is that since we didn't push the actual Boba Fett plot forward at all, now those complaints about how the show was slow get to be right. And they weren't right at first. It was not slow at first. It was moving along right where it was supposed to be. But now that you've wasted an entire episode and didn't do any of the stuff to push the plot forward or develop the characters at all, and you only got 2 episodes left, like, now you're in trouble a little bit. Now you got to like shoot some fireworks off. I'm gonna let you talk your shit, but here's the last thing I'm gonna say about this, bro. Even for a Mandalorian episode, I thought that episode kind of sucked, and here's why, bro. Like, the first 15 to 20 minutes, beautiful, fantastic.
It was
awesome.
Also like, I'm gonna let you finish, but I think the fact that it was one of the longer episodes too,
Dog.
And it for it to have been one of the longer episodes, it started off very strong.
So good, man.
And then they just built the ship for like 45
For fucking
minutes.
bro, that was what I was gonna say, dog. Like, so the you started off really, really dope because we all knew Mando was coming. They played his fucking music at the end of the last episode. There was no surprise there. So I expected this episode to start off exactly how it did. Let's catch up with what Mando is doing. A lot of dope stuff with the Darksaber. A lot of dope stuff with like the House of Mandalore, the House of Vizsla. They had a challenge for the rights to wield the Darksaber. You got to find out about like how his decision to take off his helmet like got him fucked, which I thought was a little ridiculous, but like whatever, that's their religion. So now like also like this is good stuff, right? For like where we go with the future of Mando, a dope fight scene, a lot of good sweaty lore. First 15 minutes, amazing. 20 minutes, whatever, amazing. And then for the next 40 minutes, they just built that stupid ship that nobody gave a fuck about. Maybe you, because I know you like episode one.
Let's go!
But like they built this old, like the entire rest of the show.
off autopilot. It's gonna get us both killed.
Right. the entire rest of the show was just a giant Easter egg, just a giant nostalgia trip. And it didn't push anything forward. And
No,
even if
this
it was
is
just
pod racing.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a pod racer at first. Shout out to the one Easter egg about the BD droid for those of us who played the other Star Wars. What was that game? Fallen
Order.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But even if this episode had taken place in Mandalorian season 2, because that fucking whole season was amazing. I would have thought that was the worst episode because they spent so much time on that goddamn ship. And then they had a whole like cops and robbers got stopped by the fucking X-Wing police. That took 15 minutes, another 15 minutes. Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? That whole episode, not only was it trash by Book of Boba Fett standards, it was also a bad Mandalorian episode.
The X-Wing police.
Right, dog. Like, hey, you remember these guys? You remember that thing that happened in episode or season 1? You remember? Bro, yes. What about Boba Fett? Nigga, this is the Boba Fett show. So I had a lot of trouble with that. I thought that was like the first mistake I thought that they made. Because now you got and look, man, if the next 2 episodes are amazing, which I have no reason to think they wouldn't be, then I'll shut the fuck up. But like now you really it's almost like, all right, bro, like it's first and goal and you take a sack, right? So like now you're in field goal position and you take a sack. So it's like, all right, bro, now you got like a way longer field goal to kick to win the game. Can you do it? Yes, but it's a lot harder now. This is sort of what happened. So again, I can't stress enough. The first 20 minutes of this episode were phenomenal. The last 40 were a complete waste of time.
Facts.
Even if this was on Mando, I still would have complained about it, bro. Like, get out of here. If they had just gone straight from that 20 minutes and into like, all right, what's up with Boba Fett and Fennec? Like, what are they up to? Or if Boba Fett just showed up like, hey, bro, like, you remember that thing I did for you? Come fuck with me. Like, and now we're back into the shit. Would have been the best episode by far.
Right.
But here we go. We're shit in the bed. Go ahead. My bad.
It didn't bother me that much. I mean, I obviously loved the beginning. I loved all the Darksaber stuff. I was absolutely in love with the fact that he is not good at using the Darksaber.
Sure, that was dope.
I loved that. And then, like, you think back to, like, Clone Wars and how easy it was for Darth Maul to use the Darksaber, right? And I just wonder if they're going to get into a thing where, like, you got to be force sensitive to use it because Tar Vizsla created the Darksaber and he was a Jedi.
I mean, if you think about it, that was what the canon used to be before Disney bought it because, like, it has no weight.
Yeah. Like,
the lights, I mean, it's light, right? So, like, the only thing that has weight is the base.
The hilt, yeah.
So you have to use the force to, like, simulate the weight of the blade in order to be adept with it. So if you can't do that, it's going to be way harder.
And it's easy. That's why you cut yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't feel where the blade is.
And so I mean, I'm here for that. I'm definitely I'm here for all the Mandalorian lore stuff, but I feel you. I wish that Boba Fett would have made some type of appearance in this episode. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I know they're not gonna disappoint, but I do think that this episode was not the best idea to be part of this show.
No.
But I mean, we'll see, man. We got 2 episodes left.
I thought it was only 1 episode at first.
Which made
I was
like
gonna
said,
fucking throw up,
cry.
dog. Like,
and then I don't know about you, but every time I go to watch an episode, the first thing I do is
Check
look
the
at
time.
the length.
yep, every time.
Boy, if this is the last episode coming up and you
Yep.
get to 24, 32.
15 minutes, fuck you, and then 6 of them are, goddamn it, the fucking opening credits, and then the next
And the
8,
sketchbook at the end.
right? 1 minute of content. Fuck out of here.
Oh man. All right, man. Moving. 1 minute of content.
Right.
Hey, yeah, we know you guys like those sound grenades.
Oh my god, dog. Dog, they cannot help themselves, bro. Every time you see the ship, always, every single time, do the fucking weird explosion. Every time, dog. That shit made me roll my eyes. God damn it. That shit made me roll my eyes in real life. I was like, dog, please. I called it ahead of time. I was like, they better not do that fucking sound grenade, are they?
Come on, man.
Every
It's
single
cool.
time, bro.
It's cool.
It is cool, though. I won't lie.
All right, man.
Nothing hit harder than that first one in
Oh,
Clone
no.
Wars.
Absolutely.
That might have been the best part of that whole movie.
Yeah.
Because he dropped a couple of them motherfuckers, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was just splitting the asteroids.
The asteroids, yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. It's hard to believe that is the guy that's playing Boba Fett right now.
Yeah.
That's
like
crazy.
30 years ago,
Yeah.
25 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Shout out to him.
He's dope. I like him.
He is a good actor. All right, man. Give me an anime that you think is better than people remember. So you watch stuff when you're younger, you know what I mean? And you're kind of like, oh, that was cute. And then a lot of times, man, we get older, we go back and we watch stuff, and not only does it hold up, but you're seeing it from a more mature perspective, and you're kind of like, yo, this is actually like, this is really good.
I would say most of them. Like, the first one that comes to mind, I say this all the time, is Dragon Ball.
Right.
I mean, I went back as an adult, and I can firmly say, like, because, you know, Dragon Ball Z is the one we were all in, like, middle school and high school, or not high school, mostly, like, middle school.
Yeah.
Because then it went away for a long time. But if you're a nerd like us, me and Edmund, and I'm sure you as well, tapes, internet, I was already...
used to love, like, the tapes they would make, like, the picture on the side. And you'd have to tapes that went together
to form the picture. Yep. So yeah, I mean, so for me, I don't think it was until high school where like the rest of Dragon Ball Z became in like regular syndication.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that show ended in like 1996 or something like that. It had been over for forever. But like for me, like I was all over the internet trying to figure out and trying to piece together the end of it already. So by the time I went back to finish Dragon Ball, I was already grown. I was like, because we talked about this before, Dragon Ball in America only went up to episode 13, right after he became the first Golden Ape, the regular Zero for the first time. And then it just started over. So we never saw Krillin. We never saw Krillin until Dragon Ball Z. We never saw Gohan. Well, we didn't see him either. But like Tien, Yamcha, we didn't see any of like when we first started watching Dragon Ball Z, we were like, who the fuck are these guys?
Right.
Like they just like what like there are these relationships like Piccolo, like all these relationships. Like who I've never seen none of y'all niggas, bro. Like and also
why is Goku
a father?
A man.
Right. Right, grown. And Chi-Chi is grown too, and they got a baby now. What the fuck just happened? So anyways, I didn't go back to finish Dragon Ball until I was like 20-something. I was out of college. I was like maybe, I don't know, 23 or 24. I was like, yo, this shit is kind of way better than Dragon Ball. Like, I like this shit a lot. Like, this, because there's more, like, the fighting was way more grounded. Like,
it was,
the tournaments.
And the tournaments are sweet. The fighting was grounded. And the fighting, it was like legit choreography. You know what I mean? It wasn't like,
hey, I'm going to charge up this beam for fucking the whole episode.
You can't see what's going on because it's happening so fast. Right. You know what I mean? Explosion.
And like Goku was like funny and charming, and Krillin was like a little dirtbag, and it was all good.
Goku was a great character until like Super, pretty much. You know,
for me,
a little more earlier than that.
For me, it was like after the
What saga?
after the like during the Cell saga, he started going nuts. Like
he started being like a little bit of a crazy.
Like
person.
once he started like forcing Gohan to like, and hey, let's go spend 5 years in Super Saiyan only, and I'm gonna beat your ass every day. Like once it became clear that this nigga was out of his mind and like only did not care about his son at all and only cared about scrapping. As a matter of fact, hey, I can kill Cell right now, but no, we need Gohan to be stronger, so I'm gonna just not fight
at the expense of all our friends.
Right,
too.
I'm gonna let Goku or who died? Trunks.
Bro, Trunks got
almost died.
Caught a stray for no reason.
For no reason, bro. Piccolo took an L. I mean, all Android 16. Like, hey, I can beat him, but we're just for the sake of the plot and because I'm nuts. Like, let's make sure that Gohan does it. Like, get the fuck out of here. So after that point, I was like, that's hard. It's hard for me to relate to this crazy person now. Like, you're fucking like. You're like a fucking psychopath, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to Dragon Ball, original Dragon Ball. Also, best theme song ever.
Oh man, hey! That song is fire.
It is dope.
But man, that's a good one. I'm gonna say. So when I was a time I like to think about when I'm talking about anime is like that kind of that sweet spot between like ending middle school and like high school, and the two anime that were on all the time was like Inuyasha and Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep.
And like I'm gonna go with Inuyasha, man. Like I know you're not a big fan of
Not gonna be able to die.
of the demon stuff and all that, but I've been watching the Inuyasha, man, and I really think that it's a good show. It's like one of those like forgotten like shonen anime that
You think it's forgotten? I think people love Inuyasha.
I think they
You don't
did.
think so?
I think they did. I think
Because I always felt like I had the hot take by not liking it. I've always felt like I was alone.
That's
on
the
that.
thing. I think that people did like it, but I'd never see anybody talk about it anymore. I think it's just like forgotten.
Oh, sure,
like,
yeah.
Straight up. Because I was explaining this to Jay, man. I was telling him, like you know how Demon Slayer and like My Hero Academia are now? Like that was like Inuyasha when I was your age. Like that was the one that everybody was watching all that. But I feel you though, bro, because it was just on so much.
It was on every fucking day. And they always did like 3 episodes in a row.
I just saw a meme on Facebook.
Dog, I know the one.
It was like nobody. My TV
At 3 a.m. It's the
was-
fucking ending theme, bro. Now, what I will say about Inuyasha is it had the best intro and
music is
outro, maybe of all time, bro.
Music is
Like
so good.
every season, it had a new fucking flamethrower of a track,
yeah.
dog. Every single
And
season.
it's got good music. I
Yeah.
like Inuyasha, man. I think it's really good. I think if you, in terms of like long shonen anime, it does.
long.
It's long, but this show does a good job of like it's not slow though. Like it's long, but it's not slow. It doesn't get slow for real, and that's why I think it might be better than some people remember. I think it's a good show. It's a good pacing. It's not slow. It's got good characters, good fights. Like the music is amazing. The animation is good too. Like I think it's a good show, man. I think some people need to go back and check it out.
So I have an answer to a similar question, but maybe a little bit in reverse. But it's not. So you're gonna panic when I say this, but I have enough experience with this anime to know that it gets better. And when I say better, not just like it becomes one of my top 5 favorite anime of all time. But I started watching Kenshin again for the first time, and those first couple episodes are rough in terms of like the animation. Because I haven't gone back and watched it from the beginning.
I watch it all the time, and you're always like, man, I gotta watch it again. I haven't seen it.
I started watching it again from the beginning, and those like, and just like the story, like the characters, like everything is great, but the animation is kind of like, y'all niggas ain't got the money yet. That y'all okay? That's cool. They get a couple paychecks later.
Yeah, it doesn't really pick up until around that arc where my man's. He's like it's like the first guy that really comes to and he kidnaps
the Gambit dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the kid. That's what I call him too.
Like
He looks
fucking
like
Gambit.
Gambit.
Yeah, it definitely got better at that point. But those
Gambit Yoshimitsu.
exactly. The first couple of episodes are literally like they were like the sword fight was like a fucking slide. It was literally like a picture of like bink and then bink and then bink. I was like,
and then
what's going on?
And then it's like, and then you get to like, that show used to drive me nuts because in the intro, it's like that sweet,
super fluid,
so
yeah.
dope.
Because they do that all the time. That's a '90s staple, bro. They blow all their. You know what the best example of that is fucking Record of Lotus War, bro.
Oh my goodness,
dog! Greatest. I say this all the time, bro. Greatest TV intro of all time, dog. The music is amazing. The animation, they show fucking Parn walking like with the fucking cape blowing. That shit look cold. First episode, nigga. God damn it! With this. I'm like, bro, you blew your whole budget on the intro, dog. That's a classic anime 90s staple, bro.
Pump fake, man. Get them to watch the show, and that's it.
But it does get better. Like the fights again, I'm not. This is in no way has it affected the way that I view Kenshin. If anything, like I'm like remembering, like this motherfucker was really untouchable, like for real, like always.
Yeah. He was always, yeah.
Bro. Another example of an anime where the motherfucking main person started off sweet off top.
Yep.
Like
it's okay, we can do that.
More of that, please. Come on.
It's okay, we can do that every now and then. But yeah, man. Let's get back to a little part we used to do that we haven't done in a long time. Put me on something, man.
Oh. All right, well, let me think about this. I didn't look at this ahead of time. You go.
I will go first. Yeah. And this, I'm not just putting you on. I'm putting everybody on this. I want you guys and you guys got to check out Spriggan. Remember? It's old 90s anime film. It's called Spriggan. Spriggan.
Yep.
Man, it's so dope. It's I looked into it because when I was a kid, I remember renting this movie from Blockbuster.
Yep.
And it was fire. So I found it, watched it. It's still really, really dope. And it just I love it because first of all, like the movie doesn't make sense at all. Like because it kind of does what Akira does is it just kind of drops you in the middle of like an existing manga story. And then it just kind of ends. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like how Akira does pretty much. And
like, bro, Akira the movie, it covers maybe like the first chapter of the whole manga.
like that's how this is.
It's ridiculous.
And it is so awesome though. Like the animation is amazing. Like how Akira's got that crazy just that it's that super fluid 90s like hand drawn. It's got that style of animation, and the guy, the guy who made Akira he's involved in this movie somehow. I don't know exactly what he did, but I know they were like putting his name all over it, and everybody's like, "Oh, he made it," and they're like, "Well, no, he didn't make it."
Otomo, what's his name? Something I don't know.
I forget.
Starts with an O, but yeah.
But this movie is so fire. The animation is amazing. It's like this guy, and he's the movie starts off with. He's in school and like and like one of his classmates just randomly has like a bomb vest on and just like, blows up the school.
Beg your pardon?
The roof of the school or whatever. And the guy is on the roof with him, and then the next scene he's like, okay. And they don't really explain anything. And then he talks to this guy, and then he just like goes to the airport, and my man tries to go to the airport with like 1 million guns and knives and all this stuff, and then it's just like a crazy action movie, and it's like there's these super soldiers called Spriggans, and that's what he is. He's like a super soldier, and it's just it's got some ridiculous action. Like there's a part where he's like shooting he's trying to kill this big giant dude, and he's like shooting a turret gun off a Jeep and the Jeep's driving really fast, but there's like nobody driving the Jeep. You know what I'm saying? Like just crazy action. But the movie is fire, man. The animation is really good, so you guys got to check it out.
Yeah, I remember I never saw the movie, but I remember seeing the box set all the time when I was at Blockbuster.
It's fire.
So as you were talking, you reminded me of a movie that I went and bought. This is you remember you get your first little money as a kid, high school, whatever.
Yeah.
You go buy your little thing, your TV show, your like DVD box set or whatever. That's how that's how I discovered, but that's how I became a fan of Daft Punk, because I went to fucking Borders bookstore and bought,
that is a throwback.
right. I bought Discovery, Interstellar Night 5555, and Homework all at the same time, all three of them, and just ate it all, just like swallowed it whole. So another purchase that I made in high school, this was around like 2003 or 4, was this movie that was done by the same dude who did Akira, or either the same dude who did Akira or the same person who did Ghost in the Shell, or maybe both of them. And it was this I didn't know it was a little slower than I expected it to be, because it was like not for kids. It was definitely like a sort of a political fucking military drama kind of, but it was Jinro the Wolf Brigade. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Bro.
That's
That
a good
shit,
movie.
that animation was like mind blowing at the time. I hadn't seen anything like it. And I just remember there's one scene towards the end. So it's like the Jinro Wolf Brigade are like these super fucking top tier, like Navy SEAL type dudes that wear these. So if you play Fallout and you look like the Brotherhood of Steel, like those crazy like super suits with like the gas mask. Yeah. But they got these ridiculous chain guns. And it basically came down to like, is this person loyal to his the chain of command, or is he loyal to like his people? And it came down to it. A little bit of a spoiler. It came down to it. This nigga tried to say, "Hey, bro, don't you remember?" Nigga turned on that goddamn chain gun, bro. And it sounded like, you know how like you hear sound effects of a gun. It's like a rat-a-tat-tat. Bro, this shit was shooting so many bullets that it was like it was like a motor. It was just like, it's just like a humming,
Non-stop.
and just like a fucking just a sword of bullets, just chopping people down.
Oh my god. Yeah, I seen that movie. Did they remake it? I think they remade it.
I don't know if they remade it, but I think there's a live action movie.
Okay.
That's what they were. They created they did a live action. I think it's like Korean or something.
Okay. Yeah, the movie it's a good movie though.
It
I've
is.
seen it.
So yeah, y'all check it out if you haven't seen it already.
Boom. All right, man, let's go. We're going to bring back, it's been a few weeks since we brung this back. We're going to bring back You Can Only Pick 3 before we get into the top 5 of the day. A lot of anime talk on this episode, so we're going to kind of keep it the same with this and the top 5. You Can Only Pick 3. What do we got here, sir?
Boom. You can only pick 3. Oh, it looks like anime duos.
Got some duos here.
I love the Pikachu, though. I love that. Because it totally belongs, bro. 100%. Okay, so off top, we got Goku Vegeta. That's like as one of the most classic. What's the word for this? Deuteragonist?
Somebody knows it in the Discord.
Let's look it up real quick. Can't spell. Deuteragonist. I was right. It's just a weird sounding word.
It doesn't sound right.
Deuteragonist. I mean, that's if I can't read, then Deuteragonist. Okay, so that's one of the OG, and then you've got like kind of the successor, if you want to call it that, with Naruto and Sasuke. You got Gon and Killua. I know those are your guys. I gotta get around to finishing the new. I watched the old Hunter x Hunter in like 1999 or whatever it was. Never got around to watching the new one. Then we got bro. Okay, so I see what your point. So then you got Deku and King Explosion Murder. One of the most ridiculous, like overly like angry characters of all time.
So annoying.
It's annoying. It's not even like
Like,
interesting. It's
some
like
people love him, but I can't stand
No.
him because he's just like there was this post in one of these anime groups I like to follow, and it said like, what is the, and this would be something interesting to get into on here more in depth, but it was, what is a common anime trope that you just can't stand and that you're tired of seeing? And I said a main character, for a protagonist forcing a friendship with with somebody
who clearly
with
hates
a
him.
rival who treats them like absolute crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they just like force the friendship, and it just makes no sense to me.
He's gotten better though as the seasons have gone forward. You could tell that he like has, Deku has earned his respect some.
For sure. He's earned, and it's because of the One for All secret. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It
Yeah.
kinda, since All Might kind of let him in on it, and now it's like the relationship is a little better. But like even before that, like there's no reason for this kid to try to be this guy's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like he treats him like crap.
And then so this is to your point earlier about like we talked offline about like how if there's 3 people in the group, there's always a guy who thinks he's the rival but kind of isn't.
Yeah.
So we got Kurabara and Yusuke. And it's like, is it Kurabara or is it
Right.
is it Hiei?
Hiei?
And it's
yeah.
I feel like it's always kind of been Hiei. Because Kurabara is kind of the comic relief character, you know what I mean?
Right, facts. And then it's almost like, is it Hiei or is it Hiei and Kurama as their own kind of?
Oh yeah.
Like as Yusuke, and so because I mean, again, this is the rare instance where
it's like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You got 4, and then you watch Demon Slayer, and then there's 3. And then My Hero's kind of 3, but like, is it really Todoroki that belongs in there, or is it just Deku and Bakugo? And
it should be Todoroki.
I mean, yeah,
It's a better character for sure.
I can't stand King Explosion Murder. But
That's literally his name, isn't it?
He tried.
Wait. So I think that there's gonna be it's probably already happened in the manga, but like he has a name that he's gonna like say whenever he feels like he has earned it or whatever. Whatever. I haven't read the manga. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Then we've got Zora and Luffy, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce. I don't watch this bullshit,
you're doing
bro.
this on purpose.
I actually don't know. Is it Luffy or Luffy?
It's Luffy.
Who cares? What show is this? I've never seen this shit before.
2 Piece.
How many pieces, dog? Then we got, bro. So this is not necessarily my first keeper in terms of priority, but I'm definitely gonna keep Ed and Alphonse.
Love it.
From Full Metal Alchemist, because like Ed is the main character, obviously, and he's like the person who he's trying to save is Alphonse, but it ain't like Alphonse just kicking back.
Right.
Like Alphonse is out there like putting in work.
Yeah, he's in the field.
Yeah, he's in the field going ham. And he's like dope too.
They both can scrap. They both in training.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good relationship there.
And I just love this. This is probably gonna have to be my second keeper just off it. Like, come on, bro, Ash and Pikachu.
Belongs,
it definitely
man.
belongs, man. Like, and I don't actually think that this is a stretch either, because I don't particularly like a lot of these other characters. I mean, I like them individually, like, but I've never been I'm not an adult Goku fan. I'm not really a huge Sasuke fan. I don't really know enough about Gon and Killua to like have an opinion. And I was never the hugest Yu Yu Hakusho fan. That would probably it would come down to, and obviously I don't watch One Piece, so so it'd probably come down to Kuwabara and Yusuke versus Bakugo and Deku. And since I'm like, I feel, even though I'm not a big fan of Bakugo, like I do love Deku, and I like the direction that Bakugo was going. Like you mentioned, the One for All secret, bringing their relationship closer, and like him like being a real human being every once in a while.
Yeah, and I mean they have moments where, like in the movie, where Deku had to let him use One for All for, you know what I'm saying, and it's like that was he let him have it without knowing that he was gonna not have it at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like he gave it to him with the under the impression that he was gonna keep it.
Right. Yeah.
So you know.
Yep. So yeah, those would be my top three. I'm gonna keep Bakugo and Deku, the Elric brothers, and Ash and Pikachu.
Boom. All right, man. So we got Goku and Vegeta. I mean, it's crazy because these two characters have definitely like flip-flopped for me over time.
For
Like,
sure.
I used to hate Vegeta, love Goku, and they've done the opposite. Like Vegeta has just been the recipient of some great character work, and he is now like a better character. You know what I'm saying? He's way. He has gone from being like this selfish jerk to like this ultimate family guy who loves his family and tries to like not show it. You know what I'm saying? But he cares. You know what I mean? And then Goku's just like this, just like brain dead maniac that just wants to fight all the time.
Psychopath, bro.
But then you got my obvious first keeper, man. Come on, let's go. Naruto and Sasuke, the GOATs. I mean, seeing them as adults is what really matters here.
Sure.
Because for a minute, like, let's be real, this was kind of one of those situations where I was talking about earlier, where, like, you got this protagonist that's, like, forcing this friendship with this guy who's just treated him like crap.
Who clearly hates you.
His whole life, who hates you. You know what I mean? And I never liked it. But now when you see them as adults, and Naruto's the Hokage, like that best friend element is definitely there, and they fight together, and they're constantly protecting each other and saving each other. So I love that. Those are my guys. Then we got Gon and Killua, man. I love this show, Hunter x Hunter. Another real friendship. Like this isn't just a rivalry between like two jerks. Like this is another, or not two jerks. Usually a good guy and a jerk. You know
Piece of shit.
But this is a legit. This is a legit friendship here. That's a good one. Then we got Deku and Bakugo. Like I just said, cannot stand Bakugo. I do love Midoriya though. Then we got Yusuke and Kuwabara. This is one of my favorite shows ever. Love Yusuke. Not really a big Kuwabara fan, but there are moments.
You mean Blake Griffin?
Yeah,
That's
Blake Griffin. You're a messy. But there are moments, bro, where like you really see their friendship. Like, oh man, like I think the best moment in the show is when Yusuke's fighting Toguro and he just can't like reach that next level. So Kuwabara's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go die. Like I'm gonna go let this dude kill me to inspire this guy. And he literally, bro, he like goes out there and like almost dies. And Yusuke just kind of wakes up and he's just like, basically like, oh, I'm trash. I couldn't protect my friend. And then, powers up. So, but Hiei's my guy. Zoro and Luffy. Look, man, I like One Piece? No. But I have watched enough of the show. But all the whole, like, you guys got to stop with the, it really gets good after episode 6,000, man.
I'm not watching that shit, bro. No. Stop.
I love
not gonna be able to do it.
I love Zoro, but I can't stand Luffy, and that's why I can't really watch that show. Then we got Alphonse and Ed, just like you said, super dope. And like you said, man, Ed's the protagonist, but Alphonse isn't sitting and waiting to be saved. He's out there doing work. But then we got my second keepers, Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. Ash Ketchum and Lord Pikachu. Legendary Pikachu.
Yeah, level 107
Bro, it's
Pikachu.
so funny because if you like play Pokemon, like you know that Pikachu is just not good competitively at all, but it doesn't matter because
I love the fact that Gold and Silver gave credit to the anime, was like, yo, y'all see that Pikachu he always uses? Yeah, he's level 80. Fuck you.
Facts. But yeah, Ash and Pikachu, man, come on, let's go. Love it. My third keeper, man, it's kind of tough. If this was Yusuke and Hiei, I would pick that. But I think I'm going to go with Gon and Killua because it's not Yusuke and Hiei. But I do love Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like my third or fourth favorite anime of all time. It's in my top 5 for sure. But I think I got to go with Gon and Killua as a team. Individually, I'd take Yusuke over both of them. But as a team, I'm going to Killua. So that's my 3, man. Naruto and Sasuke, Ash and Pikachu, and Gon and Killua.
Boom.
Let's go. Top 5 of the day. It's time. We just did kind of a you can only pick 3 with some shonen duos. So let's go, man. We never done this one before.
It's hard to believe that we have.
I know it's hard to believe, but it's probably because we're always criticizing shonen anime.
Yep.
Give me your top 5 favorite shonen protagonists of all time.
Bro, that's kind of the theme of my list, man. You know, you already know, like look, Doug, we all grew up on this shit.
Facts.
Right?
And I mean, and like I do go through times where I'm like shonen out. I was just talking about that. Like how I was having like trouble getting through that new season of My Hero because I was just kind of like shonen out, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It happens.
It does, and as I've gotten older and my tastes have changed, bro. Like we all like action. We are both martial artists. We're both like into fighting, but like I also know that like I care a lot about like character development. I care a lot about like storytelling and like sweaty and lore.
Yeah, facts.
Like, I care a lot about that.
And that's why like me watching Evangelion for the first time in a really long time and
Sure.
like, actually understanding it, like I loved it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was in a place to love it when
For
I
sure.
was 17,
Absolutely not.
You know
No.
what I mean?
And so furthermore, like it's very difficult for me to like, I'm very critical of shonen these days. Like, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna, it might be like that permanently. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I've outgrown like some of the stuff that I loved about it before. Like it's like, I still like it. It still hits like a special spot, but like I can't watch it all the time because if it's too formulaic. I mean, that's why I've seen some of the fights from Jujutsu Kaisen that look absolutely amazing. Like the animation looks sweet as fuck, but like, I don't know if I want to sit through all the formula to get to those fights.
That's man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I want to sit through all the same shit that we've seen for 30 fucking years to get to those fights. Look,
I know exactly what you mean, bro, because it's so formulaic, and then the formula's the same, and the characters they mimic characters from other shows, and they all have the same archetype, and some of their character designs be mad similar. And
right, goggles, fucking like hair, cool. Symmetrical kind of spiky hair that comes down.
Cool spiky haired young teacher master.
Right, exactly. I mean, come on, dog. So, and again, like I know it's all on purpose because people love the formula, but I'm one of those people who maybe doesn't like the formula as much anymore, and I'm sorry. But so the theme here for my list is like, who are the guys who either set the precedent or challenge the precedent?
Oh, I like it.
And this is not just me trying to be controversial. Like, I think that these are my top 5 favorite shonen protagonists now.
Right.
Starting with number 5. From Dr. Stone.
Oh.
Coming in at 5'7". From the university.
Coming at 5'7" with an IQ level.
Love 6,000. We've got Senku, man. I forgot his last name. Irakashi or something like that.
Hadoken.
That was fantastic. Dogs, hilarious. So yeah, shout out to Senku, right? See, Shinku. Because again, man, like challenge the precedent, right? So this is definitely a shonen anime, and it has some of the tropes, but let's do them different. This is the magical school of smart as hell, right? This is the magical school of not ninja or superheroes. It's the magical school of like
intelligence,
of like weaponizing smart, bro. Like that shit is so fire. I love it, bro. It absolutely hits me right in because it gives me like some of the stuff that I like about the shonen tropes, but and like none of the stuff that I hate about it. And it's just like landed perfectly in my lap. And so based on this, I'm sure you can kind of guess who some of my other guys are. So number 4, and this guy, so like My Hero Academia is definitely like a pretty standard shonen anime, but the way that they develop the characters, like you kind of learn to give a shit about them, and the way that like Deku kind of challenges some of the archetypes of like, hey, I'm gonna be stupid and like just strong for no reason and have like unearned power. Like I hate that, bro. I mean, again, so like shout out to Naruto. Like he I think made that work, but like some other characters who are just stupid and just strong, and like Luffy, perfect example.
Yeah.
Just an idiot.
But even like, but even like Naruto to a certain extent, man, like he's like combat smart, but he's like common sense dumb. You know what I mean? Like,
Goku has some of that too, but like that. But you're asking me to extend my disbelief a little bit too much with that.
But they cleaned Naruto a big time, like
for sure,
full on. Like
this is an example. Naruto is an example of it working, because you saw him like actually earn some of the stuff. But like with folks like Luffy and fucking whoever else, like just like idiot person who just has like stores of untapped power and like needs a magical guru to unlock it, but didn't really have to work hard.
Facts.
Like, get out of here. And so Deku was like, that nigga literally didn't have shit and was like earnest and a good human being and got power, but he couldn't handle it. So had to like work to earn it. Like his come up was believable. And that's something that you don't see very often. With the exception, Naruto's come up was believable, and like he has one of the best, like when he finally arrives, it's one of the most feel good moments, super satisfying, and you get some of that same stuff with Deku. So like I think
the thing that's so satisfying with Naruto is that like nobody was like really in his corner for real.
Right. So much so like that after he beat Pain,
Deku's got some support. Like
a couple.
Nobody was really rooting for
Naruto. So much so that after Naruto beat Pain, if I were Naruto, I'd have been like, man, fuck y'all niggas.
Facts. Like that.
Fuck y'all, bro.
That scene where Kakashi's carrying him on his back to the village, like
yeah.
I would have been like,
hold on, bro. Fuck y'all, dog.
Yeah,
like, come
man.
on.
I would have mushed Sakura's face too. Like,
right. Nah, get out of here. Nope. Not gonna be able to do it.
Not gonna be able to
do it.
So with that in mind, Deku's my number 4. So setting the precedent. We talked a lot about adult Goku. I can't stand his ass, but you know who was the GOAT before him?
Little boy Goku.
Kid Goku, dog. Like he I'm trying to think to make sure I don't shit the bed here, but if you had to pick,
that's such a funny thing.
If you had to pick a single anime that like gave birth to the shonen formula as we know it, you kind of have to give it to Dragon Ball, do you not?
Oh no, you do. I mean, shonen
as we know it. Not to say that there weren't, because shonen just means like comic books for little boys, but there was, but like as we know it, you know what I'm saying?
Formula is Journey to the West.
Which
is like Dragon Ball, pretty much.
It's like, I mean, so much so is it Dragon Ball that it may as well be called Journey to the West, because it's literally verbatim based off of that tale.
It's literally Sun Wukong,
right?
Monkey King,
which is also why the sage of the four-tailed beast is called Goku, Son Goku, because it's a reference not to Dragon Ball, but it's a reference to Journey to the West.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know that.
Hey, well, actually,
boom, nerd facts.
So, yeah, Kid Goku set the precedent for what a shonen protagonist would become, and in a not formulaic way, because there was no formula. It was the formula. And I would say, would the next one up be maybe Yu Yu Hakusho? Was that the next big dog?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure somebody probably would.
Hey, well,
I'm
not
super familiar with Sailor Moon. Like, I watched it.
I wouldn't call that a shonen.
No.
I wouldn't. Okay. I mean, it has its own, there's a name for that genre, but I don't think it's shonen. But Sailor Moon was definitely right there after Dragon Ball for whatever that was. But like the next, I mean, there's so much Dragon Ball in Yu Yu Hakusho, it's not even funny. Like, it's very clearly influenced by Dragon Ball. Which is why we liked it, because it reminded us of that. Anyways, so shout out to Kid Goku. And so here's where it starts to get crazy, dog. Hey, dog, I will not stop talking about this anime, bro.
Hey, I already know what it is. Let's go.
I've been told y'all it's not just a little novelty thing. Hey, you want to try something different? Because, you know, do you like shonen, but you kind of are sick of the same tropes? Try this. No, it's off that now. It's graduated from that.
Okay.
Nigga, Food Wars is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Boom.
And Yukihiro Soma is my second favorite shonen protagonist ever.
Love it.
You want to talk about a guy who like they did the perfect balance of like, nah, I'm cold, bro. Like, nah, like fuck that. I worked at a restaurant with serving real food to real human beings. I'm nice, right? Chop, cook, eat. You feel me? They did a great job of balancing that with also gotta work for it. And it's like, bro, like you care about the cooking battles, dog. How is that? How did you do that? It's like, bro, I would feel like, and I'm actually like a season and a half behind. I haven't watched season 5 yet or even read the manga, but like I felt the way in some of these, you know, it had, again, shonen tropes, right? The tournament, right? The holiday, the athletic tournament in every fucking anime. I like it felt like Cell Saga, right? Like what is Gohan gonna do to train to hit that next level? What is fucking Yukihira Soma gonna do to figure out that right spice to put in that motherfucker? God damn it. They found a way to make that shit feel like a fight, and it was so well done, bro. Right. And Yukihira Soma is just the perfect character to be like the funny, but also not an idiot, but like also charming and sort of mischievous, like just all the stuff that you want in your main character right there.
Bang.
With that said, I'm gonna make this quick. My number one. You want to talk about a motherfucking GOAT, the guy who was untouchable from the very beginning. It has to be. Let me make sure I put the proper respect on the name. Hitokiri Batosai, goddammit. Himura Kenshin.
Boom.
Batosai, the manslayer, dog. Get out of here. From day one. I'm like, as I'm rewatching this shit, I'm like 30 episodes in, and he's been hit like 3 times.
Hey, man.
And I'm here for it.
Sometimes, like, that's what we want. We don't feel like watching. Sometimes the character just needs to be.
I want the guy, though. This is the manslayer who was the most untouchable swordsman in that era. I want him to be that in the show, right. And he is. and it's I mean, is Kenshin a shonen anime? Whatever. Fuck your life. He's the number one guy on my list. Because he is. I mean, you got your rival character in Sanosuke.
Okay, so this is, if a show like Gintama is considered
right
shonen, and now is Kenshin like Gintama? No, but in the sense that it's like a episodic shonen show with it's not like it's got these long arcs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it is.
For sure. So that's my top 5. Senku, Deku, Kid Goku. A lot of coups there. Yukihira Soma, and then Rurouni Kenshin, Hitokiri Batosai, Himura.
Boom.
Manslayer.
Fire. I love it. Very good. All right, man. Let's go. It's time for my list here. I got some honorable mentions I got to get off my chest first, man. Shout out to my guy, Tanjiro. I love Demon Slayer, bro. Like, I love Demon Slayer.
Great show.
Great show. Such a good show, man. Tanjiro, good main character. I just like he is a very good character, and I do love him, but he's just got that thing, man, where it's like I gotta sympathize with every evil demon that I kill. Like I gotta, you know what I mean?
Let's be friends.
Sometimes it gets a little, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, fuck, kill him.
Bro.
Murder.
Yeah, man. But then, you know, still my guy. Shout out to him. Yeah. Then we got another honorable mention here, man. Shout out to my guy, Gon from Hunter x Hunter. I love Gon. Gon's another great character. One of the... Gon does not have a lot of flaws, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think he's not whiny. He's
very aloof.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not whiny. He is kind of like, I won't say he's dumb, but he's a kid, and he is a kid, and his like his awareness is like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like he is very much a child. But I mean, again, here's another character we have that is sweet from the start. You know what I mean? He is sweet from the start. And he's a good character, man. I'm a big fan of Gon. Another honorable mention, man, I gotta go with Inuyasha, man. Like I've been watching Inuyasha. I think Inuyasha's a good character. I think he's a good mix. I think he's a good mix. He's got some good character development. He starts off as like a complete jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of rightfully so. I mean, he the way that his whole story begins, you know, I get it. But then he develops into a good character, man. So,
bro, didn't Eric say that the Inuyasha is basically just Scooby Doo?
He did.
In feudal Japan.
Such a
It's kind of true. It's kind of true. For context, Inuyasha is like a half demon dog kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like a half demon dog. His sword is sweet. Tetsaiga.
That sword is sweet.
Very
I
cool.
remember that.
Very
I
cool
used to draw Tetsaiga. I don't know why, but it was very drawable.
I feel
sword.
like people drawing anime stuff was like super popular back.
Bro,
in the day.
it was that for me. It was Kenshin, Inuyasha, and Dragon Ball Z. Those were the ones that I used to draw.
That was like a big wave. Was just drawing anime stuff.
That's how me and Edmund got started at drawing. I used to be good, and then I stopped.
Well,
And then
you were drawing with Edmund. So.
well, we were. So hold on, and I wonder. I'm gonna say this out loud, and I'm wondering, and I can say this confidently because this nigga's like a professional artist now. But I wonder if he'd be willing to admit that I used to be better than him at drawing.
That's crazy because Edmund is like.
But by the time we went to high school,
the GOAT.
I still drew a little bit in high school, but I started working on music, and he like kept going. And by the time we were out of high school, it wasn't even close. Like this nigga was like already like a super professional by the time he was going to college. But like in middle school, beginning of high school, I think Edmund would admit, and we'll see what he says in the Discord, but I think he would admit that I was probably better than him, a little bit better. But it was a very short run. And after that, it was a wrap.
Boom. That's funny. All right, man, let's go. Another honorable mention. I got a Kid Goku, man. Honorable mention. Wanted to get him on here, but just doesn't really fit. Again, I love the Dragon Ball in the beginning, but his just descendants into like,
hey, I'm a fucking crazy
and dumb.
And I hate my fucking wife and kids.
I hate my family. His
son,
his descendants into that.
What's that? I got another son. Fuck him too. He's a fucking horrible person, dog.
Oh man. Yep. All right, man. Got another son.
He doesn't even know Goten. Like he doesn't know him at all.
Come on, man. Nope, it's facts though. I mean, it's facts. But all right, man. Let's go. Let's get into this list. Coming in at number 5, I gotta go with. This character, I know, man. I know he gets on a lot of people's nerves because he is very whiny. But some of the things that you alluded to earlier, man, like I love his story and his come up. Like Deku, man, number 5. I love his story of had nothing, got it, wasn't strong enough to have it, had to build himself up to it, had to really like. There's a difference between like I like when fans, like one thing I don't like, so if you as a wrestling fan, right, when fans do the "you deserve it" chant.
Oh yeah.
I think Adam Page, Hangman Page from AEW had like the greatest reaction ever to it because he said, "No, I didn't deserve that. Like I earned it."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's true, man. Because like when people say you deserve something, there's like a
entitlement.
There's like it's entitlement, and there's like a hint of like pity there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
that's good for you.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's a nice little title for you, isn't it?
For one, that's so good for him. But it's like, nah, bro, like, I've been out here putting in work and he's just pure, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mess with Deku, man. I love him. So he's gonna be my number 5. Coming in at number 4, I'm gonna go with Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho, man. This is like, again, Yusuke, a lot like Gon, I think is very close to just like a character that doesn't have that many flaws. You know what I mean? And this is another character who he had a real come up. Like, he put in the work, man. He had to train. He trained super hard with Genkai. Then she tried to give him her power, and it almost killed him. And then she was about to stop, and then he was like, nope.
Nah, keep it coming.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I love Yusuke, man. Another character who had a good come up. You know what I'm saying? He put the work in, and that's what really matters to me when it comes to like shonen characters. I love seeing characters put the work in. Like, if you're not gonna start off sweet, I have to be in love with your journey to the top, man. Because if I'm not, I can't watch the show because they're too long and too formulaic. So number 4 is gonna be Yusuke. Number 3, man. We gotta respect my guy, man. We gotta respect my guy Ash Ketchum. Number 3, one of the greatest Pokemon trainers ever. A lot of people hate on him. They say he doesn't win. He doesn't win the big one. But Ash is a great character, man. Ash has a first name basis relationship with every legendary Pokemon.
Every god.
Ash can literally go up to Arceus and he'll probably let him ride him.
Yep.
Like, and Ash is another guy, man. Like, as much as I love Pokemon, I've probably watched every Pokemon anime. This is just a character that's been with me forever, in all types of different animation styles, different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I love Ash, man. So shout out to Ash. Coming in number 2, we got the man himself. The one character on this list that was just sweet from the jump, as he should be, and that is Kenshin Himura. Come on, man.
Bro, you got to give the proper respect.
Hirokiri
Batosai.
Come on, man. The man Slayer.
Himura Kenshin.
Kenshin. The manga was sweet. The anime is one of my favorites of all time. I mean, come on, man. He was sweet from the jump. Sometimes it's dope to get the backstory, and the anime just is. It starts after he was already sweet.
Yeah.
So.
No. Here's what I was. Remember when I said he was the coldest one?
Here it is right here. You know what I mean?
Y'all not about to touch him for like 15 episodes. Yeah, he's not even gonna get challenged for like 17 episodes.
You already know, man.
But I guess Gambit challenged him a little bit, but it was only because he wasn't like
it was a little mental.
Yeah, it was kind of like, all right, let me dust off the old killer brain.
Let me try to get this girl he might possibly care about.
Right.
But yeah, man, number 2 is Kenshin, just classic. But number 1, you guys know number 1 is. Come on, man. Hodama Rosengo. Naruto, man, it's my guy. His journey, amazing. From a kid to being Hokage. I say all the time though, man, like, my one gripe with Naruto that I will never not have is the fact that we had to wait for him to be in another show to see him how we want to see him.
It was one of two things. Either like in the anime with him achieving the goal and never come back to it, or like just make another series that's about him as an adult.
Yeah,
but like to have him as a secondary character in another anime it's going to be tough.
And then where he's still doing the best stuff and people are only watching it for him.
And it sucks because, and I feel differently about this because I'm not as hardcore a Naruto fan as a lot of folks are, because I think it sucks. It was a poor decision because it like ruins what could have been an interesting character in Boruto, but like nobody cares about him now because of like, I mean, and again, we talked, I don't know how people feel about this, but like if you're going to do that, then you kind of have to you have to like make Naruto go away.
Yeah.
But don't just like make up for like a decision that y'all made a long time ago and like, oh, we should have gave him more adult Naruto. How about we just like have this show and like just hijack this other idea? Like, no, like I think that you've ruined a character that could have been interesting.
Right.
By calling this Boruto. Like just either do one or the other.
Facts. I agree, man. I think that they definitely dropped the ball with like the way they transitioned into this show.
For sure.
But hey, man, I'm here for Naruto being sweet and doing sweet things as Hokage.
Yep.
So that's it, man. Boom. My top 5 favorite shonen protagonists: Deku at number 5, Yusuke Urameshi at number 4, Ash Ketchum number 3, Himura Kenshin at number 2, and the GOAT, my favorite of all time, #1, Naruto Uzumaki. That's it, man. Boom. Shout out to Tanjiro. Shout out to Goku. Kid Goku.
Yeah,
Let's be
only.
specific here. Kid Goku only. Shout out to my guy Inuyasha. And that's it, man. Shout out to Senku too, man. Like, I haven't finished all of Dr. Stone that's out, but like I watched the first like 10 episodes or so, and I like the show. I need to go back and finish it. Boom. That's it, man. Episode 104 in the books. What's your top 5 favorite shonen protagonists? And you guys should definitely check out Pokemon Legends of Arceus. We'll catch you guys next week on the SwordCast. Peace. Matt Stafford, greatest quarterback of all time.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Seems like he played for the Detroit Lions 20 years ago.
Nope. He just played there last year. Got away from them for one season and went to the big game immediately.
Odell Beckham Jr. Super Bowl.
Same season. Like, nah, I wasn't weak, bro. You was weak, Baker Mayfield. Look at how Matthew Stafford keep throwing me the football, and I got 100 and some yards in a playoff game.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hear nothing else, dog. Matthew Stafford is if he wins the Super Bowl, he's a Hall of Famer, period.
I mean,
he may go to the Hall of Fame already, anyways.
How many rings Aaron Rodgers got?
1. That would mean he'd have the same amount. Hey, man, look.
Aaron Rodgers don't really show up in the playoffs like that.
No.
Matt Stafford better than Aaron Rodgers.